Once upon a time, there was a man named John who was always worried about what other people thought of him. He spent most of his time trying to please others and seeking their approval, but he was never truly happy. One day, John met a wise old philosopher who told him a story. The philosopher said, "There was once a man who had a beautiful horse. Everyone in the village admired the horse and told the man how lucky he was to own such a magnificent animal. The man was pleased by their compliments, but he also became anxious that he might lose his horse. He began to worry about what would happen if his horse was stolen or died." The philosopher paused for a moment and then continued. One day, the man's worst fears came true. His horse ran away and was never found. The man was devastated and felt like his whole world had collapsed. But the next day, something remarkable happened. The man woke up to find that his horse had returned, and with it came a wild stallion that had joined its journey. The stallion was even more beautiful than his own horse and was worth twice as much. The man was overjoyed and realized that what he had seen as a tragedy was actually a blessing in disguise. John was puzzled by the story and asked the philosopher, "What does this story mean?" The philosopher replied, "It means that we should not judge events as good or bad because we never know what they will lead to. What may seem like a disaster today may turn out to be a blessing in the future." John realized that he had been judging events in his life as either good or bad, based on what he thought others would think of him. He realized that this way of thinking was making him unhappy and preventing him from enjoying life. From that day on, John tried to adopt a more open-minded and positive attitude towards life. He started to see setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow rather than as failures to be ashamed of. He began to focus on what made him happy rather than on what he thought would impress others. In the end, John learned that life is full of surprises, and that sometimes the things we fear the most can turn out to be the greatest gifts. The story taught him that it's not what happens to us that matters, but how we respond to it that makes all the difference.